What do you do when you shoot a deer and you're pretty confident that it's a good shot, but there's no blood trail? How do you even begin to find your deer?
So this is my fourth hunt of the season. Still early season, pretty warm. I got a small buck in this area last year. There's definitely tracks everywhere here. So we'll see what happens.
And to my right, I saw two fawns prancing around in the woods. I immediately started scanning for the mother. And sure enough, there she was. Right behind those two fawns was a mature doe, silently sailing through the woods, 30 yards to my right. And because I'm right-handed, I had to twist my body to get a proper shot. Not the best thing to do when you're trying to stay quiet in the woods. But that's how hunting is sometimes. In fact, most times you don't get what you expect. And in this particular situation, I had 3 seconds or maybe even less to silently stand up, turn 90 degrees to my right, lift my bow, and take a shot. And if you notice in the video, through the branches, there's this like small window that I have where I can make a shot. Anything before that, there's too many branches in the way. Anything beyond that, I won't get a good shot either. So I met that her to stop, Bismillah, Allahu Akbar, and I let my arrow fly.
I thought it was a good shot, but I think my lighted nog failed because I can't see my arrow anywhere. I think I heard a crash, but that thing went bolting. Bismillah, inshallah I'll find it.
So it got dark, I went down to retrieve my arrow, but I couldn't find my arrow. What I typically do after that is search for first blood. And the idea is once I find blood, I'll follow the trail, I'll find the next drop of blood and the next drop of blood all the way to the deer. But in this situation, I couldn't find a single drop of blood, not one. Now mind you, it's dark, so now I really have no intel on where this deer went. I know it moved in a particular direction, but beyond that, I have no idea where this deer is. And you might be thinking, it's a deer, it can't be that hard to find. Well, imagine hundreds or even dozens of acres of woods and branches and tall grass and rocks and hills and all sorts of things that you find in the woods. And on top of that, it's pitch black. The only light you see is the light coming out of your flashlight. So I've been searching now for about half an hour, not a drop of blood anywhere. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna do a grid search, which is basically search square by square. I'm gonna go to where I last saw the deer on the video from my Tacticam, which again, from up here, from the tree stand, it's hard to kind of tell where that is. So I did that for about an hour, and I couldn't find anything. I couldn't find a drop of blood. I couldn't find my deer, obviously. And so I decided to call my buddy Amir. Amir is a seasoned hunter. He's been hunting for many years before I even got into this. In fact, he helped me harvest my very first deer when I made the switch from squirrel and rabbit hunting to deer hunting. So I gave him a call. I told him what happened. I sent him the video, and alhamdulillah, him and his wife Stacy were driving down the highway just 10 minutes from where I was in the woods. When he finally arrived, I told him I was grid searching in the woods, and he said, look, we'll have to narrow down our search, otherwise we're never going to find the deer, or we're just going to spend a lot of time looking for nothing. And this is where you can begin to appreciate the experienced hunter versus someone like myself. At the time, I was just kind of looking around, trying to figure out what to do. So he stood where I stood in my tree stand, and he asked me to point to where I heard the crash. He said, great, we're going to grid search in a cone shape from the tree stand in that direction and in that direction only. And so myself, Amir, and his wife Stacy were about maybe like 10 yards apart, and we walked together in a line, grid searching towards the sound of where I heard the crash. And he was right. Alhamdulillah, about 70 yards away in the direction of where I heard the crash, we found the deer. MashaAllah, it was amazing. So thank you, Amir. Thank you, Stacy, for coming.
Stacy, good job.
Thank you, Stacy, for coming on. It really means a lot. Became
No blood.
no blood, not a drop, not a drop.
Not a drop. That was it. And we followed the noise from the video.
Alhamdulillah, that's right.
That's right.
That's right. Thank you, Amir.
Jazakallah khair. Alhamdulillah, my pleasure,
Appreciate
bro.
it. Sorry to get all blood all over you.
I don't care, bro.
Perfect
It's good.
Saturday evening.
Nah,
All right,
good job,
Assalamu
brother.
alaikum,
Mashallah,
everyone.
mabruk, mabruk.
So this was a pretty amazing experience for me. Not just because I found this doe that I shot with no blood trail in the dark woods, but because this was an opportunity for me to learn from a seasoned, experienced hunter. I saw how he narrowed the search down. And this is what I tell folks who want to get into hunting or have been hunting for a long time without much success. The only way to get better at hunting is to spend time in the woods and to spend time with people who have more experience and to observe them as they hunt, to observe them as they scout, and to observe them as they try to find their harvest. You can read all you want about deer hunting and shot placement and the kind of weapons that you use and where deer go and where they sleep and where they eat and all of these things. But every situation is different. So you have to enjoy spending time in the woods. You have to enjoy observing nature. And then if you are blessed with a harvest, alhamdulillah, it's an added bonus to the whole experience. And alhamdulillah for good friends like Amir, who's able to set aside some time to help a brother out and to share in the joy of harvesting one of Allah's blessings.